Thank you for coming again. I'm Carl, and today we're going to be talking about vulnerability. Why is vulnerability important to be here for each other? Well, in order to be here for each other, we have to be willing to serve and help each other get better. In order to serve, you tend to give service, give energy, give encouragement. Giving is not complete until the recipient is willing to receive that gift of love, energy, support, encouragement, service, whatever. When you think about it, if it really is better to give than to receive, logically then, what is the best gift you can give another person? Is it not to receive their gift? So why is it a challenge? Well, vulnerability comes into play, the big V word. Vulnerability is simply a fear of being hurt. It is putting yourself out there authentically. People might be afraid they won't be received well. They'll be judged. They'll be found to be unlovable, unlikable. Perhaps they might feel like they wouldn't be significant to another person. But without vulnerability, you can't open yourself to receive, literally open your energy, allow the gift to come in. And vulnerability is a key component for intimate relationship of any kind. Intimacy implies close. It implies deep understanding. Sincerity. It implies knowing the truth about each other. Let's take just a second before I go further with this vulnerability discussion to look at a very common symbol. It's the yin-yang symbol from Chinese philosophy. One side, the white, represents the yang, which is the masculine energy. The other side, the black, represents yin, which is the feminine energy. Masculine energy is assertive, it's focused, it's action-oriented, it's directed. You use yang energy to set boundaries, to express limits. Yin energy, on the other hand, is receptive. It's passive. It's the place of relationship and vulnerability. It's the place where we allow things to be without judgment. We accept things as they are. Of course, we all have been hurt in our lives. And when we get hurt, it feels bad. We have a tendency to want to protect ourselves from that hurt in the future. That's where the vulnerability challenge comes in. If we harden ourselves and conduct ourselves in ways to avoid being hurt, then we're unlikely to be comfortable allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. Now, I'd like to tell you a quick story of how I learned about the power of vulnerability. And by the way, I would like to point out that the yang and the yin are of equal size. So the power is balanced in that symbol. When I first started working with groups and facilitating workshops, I began to realize that the challenge to me was finding out what was it in me that kept me from being fully present for the group. As I explored those feelings and thoughts and beliefs, what I came to realize was that I was afraid of making a mistake in front of the group and looking like a fool, looking incompetent. Well, I decided to confront that fear by calling attention to my mistakes, and modeling effective behavior by saying, okay, I made this mistake, here's what I learned from it, here's how I got better. As I did that time and time and time again, I was consciously choosing to make myself emotionally vulnerable in front of a group of people. And what I found was, inevitably, every time, they became very quiet, they focused, they were very respectful, and never once, in front of thousands of people where I've made myself vulnerable, has any one person ever taken advantage of that vulnerability. What that says to me is that vulnerability is actually a very powerful place. It takes courage to risk being hurt Yet those who experience it find it as a very courageous and powerful action. So I encourage you to consider exploring your own vulnerability, to work on cultivating the ability to share who you really are in relationships that are be here for each other. We need to tell each other the truth, help each other recognize our fears and our weaknesses, and help each other every day take another step toward being more comfortable in vulnerability and getting better, helping each other get better every day. Thank you for your time. Our next video is going to be discussing the fear-love challenge in the 2-power, 3-power model.